Hello and welcome to another Attic with a Pen video. In today's video, we'll be discussing one of the main reasons for 21 Pilots' mainstream success. Sit down, grab some popcorn, because this is going to be a long one. Today, we're diving into 21 Pilots Blurryface. Before Blurryface, 21 Pilots was already making waves with their unique sound and ability to connect with the listeners on an emotional level. Their self-titled debut album, released in 2009, showcased the raw talent of Tyler Joseph, who at the time was one of 3 members of the band. The album was created in limited resources and do-it-yourself materials, which only added to its charm. Tracks like Attic with a Pen and Aircatcher weren't polished radio hits, but instead heartfelt experimental pieces that laid the groundwork for the band's future sound. These early songs were deeply introspective, reflecting Tyler's struggles with identity, faith, and purpose. The lyrics were poetic and vulnerable, and the instrumentation combined unexpected elements like soft piano melodies, program beats, and electronic textures. This blending of styles set the foundation for 21 Pilots' reputation as a genre-defying band. Even in its infancy, the band's music invited listeners to a shared experience of raw emotion and self-reflection. In 2011, Josh Dunn joined the band, marking a turning point in their sound and energy. The chemistry between Tyler and Josh was immediate and electric, then their dynamic partnership became the heartbeat of 21 Pilots. Together, they created Vessel, their first major label release under Fueled by Ramen in 2013. The Vessel era was a significant step forward, but most musically and professionally. The album showcased the duo's ability to combine deeply personal lyrics with accessible genre-blending compositions. Songs like Car Radio demonstrated Tyler's talent for storytelling, as he delivered spoken word verses that escalated into explosive, emotionally charged choruses. Meanwhile, tracks like Holding On To You and House of Gold reveal their playful yet poignant approach to songwriting, mixing ukulele-driven melodies with rap-infused verses. While Vessel gained critical acclaim and helped build the Skeleton Clique, it didn't propel the band into mainstream. However, it proved that there was a growing audience for their unique style. Fueled by Ramen's willingness to take the chance on the duo paid off as their loyal fanbase continued to expand, and the groundwork for Blurryface was laid. Tyler Joseph and Josh Dunn set out to create Blurryface. Their goal was not to simply write another album, but to build a world, a narrative and emotional experience that could fully encapsulate the struggles, fears, and triumphs that fans face. For Tyler, this was a deeply personal undertaking. The character Blurryface represented his own internal battles. By externalizing his insecurities and giving them a name, Tyler not only created a unique conceptual framework, but also gave listeners a way to connect and confront their own struggles. Blurryface wasn't just a metaphor or a thematic thread, it was a fully realized character that shaped every aspect of the album's creation. For Tyler, Blurryface was the personification of the voice inside his head that doubted his abilities, criticized his decisions, and tried to hold him back. By giving struggles a name and a face, Tyler was able to make them tangible. This process of externalization and therapeutic technique, often used in mental health treatment, as it allows people to confront their issues as something outside of themselves rather than an intrinsic part of who they are. For Tyler, this externalization was not only cathartic but also empowering, as it turned his insecurities into something he could fight against and something his fans could relate to. Blurryface wasn't simply a one-dimensional villain in the narrative. Instead, he was a complex figure, embodying Tyler's deepest fears, but also forcing him to confront those fears head-on. This duality made Blurryface a compelling character and allowed the album to explore themes of struggle and growth in a way that felt authentic and relatable. The black paint Tyler wore on his neck and hands during performances was powerful visualization and representation of Blurryface's grip on his identity. The neck paint symbolized the way insecurity chokes him, while the hand paint represented how it influenced his actions. This physical manifestation of the character allowed fans to see Tyler's inner struggle brought to life, making themes of the album even more visceral and more impactful. Writing for Blurryface was one of the most introspective and vulnerable processes Tyler had ever undertaken. Every lyric felt like an entry ripped from his journal, raw and unfiltered. In doubt, Tyler delves into the constant persistence of anxiety captured in the refrain, "Don't forget about me." This song reflects the fear of being abandoned or forgotten, a deeply human concern that resonated with fans who struggle with their own feelings of inadequacy. The repetition of the lyrics, the pulsating, almost claustrophobic beat mimicked the cynical nature of anxious thoughts, pulsing listeners into Tyler's headspace. Boy tackles the societal pressures to conform and fit into pre-established molds. Tyler defiantly rejects this in the chorus, singing, "They say stay in your lane, but we go where we want to." The song's shifting genres and tempos reflect this rebellion, with reggae-inspired beats giving way to explosive electronic drops. The structure itself mirrors the refusal to stay in one lane, reinforcing the theme on a sonic level. Stressed Out became the album's most iconic track because it distilled the universal experience of grappling with adulthood and the loss of innocence. Tyler laments in the transition from carefree childhood to the overwhelming responsibilities of adult life, perfectly encapsulated in the line, "Wake up, you need to make money." The playful tone of the verses contrasts with the heaviness of the lyrics, mirroring the conflict between nostalgia and the harsh realities of the present. The genius of Blurryface lies within its ability to take deeply personal struggles and present them in a way that feels universal. While Tyler's insecurities were the foundation of the album, the themes explored in Blurryface are ones that nearly everyone can relate to. Blurryface embodies the doubts and fears that everyone faces, from questioning self-worth to feeling paralyzed by the weight of expectations. The way Tyler openly confronted these issues gave listeners permission to do the same, creating a powerful and emotional connection between the line and the band and their fans. A recurring theme throughout the album is fear of losing oneself, whether to external pressures, internal struggles, or the passage of time. This is especially evident in tracks like Goner, where Tyler sings, "I've got two faces, Blurry's the one I'm not." The battle to hold on to one's identity resonated deeply with fans navigating their own journeys of self-discovery. Blurryface doesn't just focus on the struggles, it also emphasizes the strength it takes to confront said struggles. Songs like Fairly Local and Ride explore the idea of resilience isn't about being fearless, it's about continuing to move forward despite fear. This message of perseverance becomes a source of inspiration for many fans. Blurryface wasn't confined to the lyrics or melodies, it was extended into every aspect of the album, from its visuals to its performances. The music videos for Blurryface were an essential part of its storytelling. In the video for Stressed Out, Tyler and Josh are shown riding tricycles and drinking juice boxes from their childhood homes, blending humor with a melancholic nostalgia. Meanwhile, the video for Ride took a more surreal approach, depicting Tyler in a lush, dreamlike forest, a metaphor for the journey of self-discovery. Blurryface came to life in 21 Pilots live performances, where Tyler's black paint and the duo's dynamic energy turned every concert into a theatrical experience. The performances were intentionally immersive, putting audiences into the world of Blurryface and allowing them to feel the emotions of the album in real life. The album's red, black, and white color scheme wasn't just a branding choice, it was an extension of the narrative. Red symbolized passion and the fight for control, black represented the darkness of insecurity, and white suggested the hope of clarity and balance. These visuals became iconic, with fans incorporating them into their own artwork, clothing, and concert attire. With Blurryface, Tyler and Josh set a new creative standard for how music could be made and experienced. The decision to create a character that embodied insecurity and transform the album from a collection of songs into a cohesive story. Tyler's raw, introspective lyrics gave listeners a way to confront their own struggles, while innovative production and immersive visuals elevated the album to a true work of art. Blurryface wasn't just an album, it was a bold and experiment in vulnerability, creativity, and connection. It was a reminder that music could be more than entertainment. It could be a lifeline. The production process for Blurryface was unlike anything 21 Pilots had attempted before. It wasn't just about writing songs, it was about creating an immersive sonic world that reflected the internal struggle between Tyler Joseph and his insecurities, embodied by the Blurryface character. To achieve this ambiguous vision, Tyler and Josh collaborated with a team of seasoned producers, each of whom brought a unique expertise to the table. Together, they crafted an album that was as innovative as it was deeply personal, blending diverse genres and sonic textures to bring the character of Blurryface to life. The decision to work with multiple producers was a calculated move to push the boundaries of 21 Pilots sound. Each producer brought their own creative lens, allowing the band to experiment with a variety of musical styles and techniques. Despite this diversity, the album maintained a cohesive soundscape, unfiled by its thematic core and the band's unique identity. Mike Alonso, the Grammy-winning producer known for his work with artists like Dr. Dre, Fiona Apple, and Eminem, was instrumental in shaping the sound of Blurryface. His production on Stressed Out was a masterclass in balancing commercial appeal with artistic depth. Elizondo helped Tyler and Josh crack the track that would become an anthem for a generation. The production of Stressed Out featured a blend of minimalistic beats, eerie synth lines, and a bass line that felt both groovy and yet unsettling, perfectly reflecting the themes of anxiety and self-doubt. The song's opening notes and a series of soft synth plucks immediately set a mood for an introspective tone, drawing listeners into the album's world. The sparse instrumentation during the verses gave Tyler's vocals room to shine, emphasizing the vulnerability in his lyrics. Meanwhile, the subtle layering of harmonies in a chorus created a sense of swelling tension, mirroring the and growing pressures described in the song. Elizondo's background in crafting radio-friendly hits was evident in the song's infectious hook, which paired relatable lyrics and a melody that was impossible to forget. The balance of accessibility and depth was a hallmark of his contributions to the album. Ricky Reed, a producer with background in pop and reggae-inspired music, brought a fresh perspective to the track Ride. Its influence can be felt in the song's laid-back grooves and rhythmic complexity. Reed infused Ride with reggae-inspired rhythm, giving the track a breezy, island-like vibe that contrasted with the album's darker moments. This contrast was intentional, offering a moment of levity while still exploring introspective themes. The syncopated drum patterns and pulsing bass line gave the song a sense of movement, perfectly complementing its lyrics about the journey of self-discovery. The clean, reverb-soaked guitar riffs added a layer of warmth, creating a soundscape that felt simultaneously expansive and intimate. Reed's production also emphasized dynamic shifts within the song. The verses were stripped back, allowing Tyler's introspective musings to take center stage, while choruses exploded with energy, reflecting the internal tension described in the lyrics. Tim Anderson, along with other contributors, played a crucial role in ensuring that the album retained its emotional authenticity, even as it explored a wide range of sonic styles. Anderson's work was particularly evident on tracks like Tear in My Heart, where the production was balanced, playful energy with heartfelt emotions. Anderson helped Tyler and Josh navigate the balance between experimentation and cohesion. His production choices ensured that even the album's lighter moments carried emotional weight, preventing them from feeling disconnected from the darker themes of Blurryface. On Tear in My Heart, Anderson brought a bouncy, piano-driven energy that complemented the song's lyrical celebration of love and resilience. The bright, upbeat instrumentation served as a counterpoint to the heavier themes explored elsewhere on the album, providing a sense of hope amid the darkness. One of the most remarkable aspects of Blurryface was his ability to move seamlessly between genres and moods, creating a listening experience that was as emotionally varied as it was musically diverse. This was no accident, it was a result of meticulous planning and innovative production techniques. Tracks like Fairly Local and Heavy Dirty Soul showcase the band's ability to create intense, high-energy anthems that still carry deep emotional weight. The production on this track was intentionally sparse, with heavy reliance on distorted synths and punchy beats. The stripped-down approach mirrored the song's message about rejecting conformity and staying true to one's roots. Heavy Dirty Soul. This track opens the album with a burst of energy, blending rapid-fire verses with soaring choruses. The frenetic production mirrored the chaos of Tyler's internal struggles, immediately immersing listeners in the world of Blurryface. On the other end of the spectrum were hauntingly introspective ballads like Doubt and Goner. Doubt was a track pulsating with energy beats that created a sense of unease, perfectly encapsulating the anxiety and fear of the described lyrics. The layered production, which included subtle harmonies and eerie synths, added to the song's haunting atmosphere. Goner, the album's closing track, was a masterclass in emotional build-up. The minimalistic piano intro allowed Tyler's vulnerable lyrics to take center stage, while the climatic crescendo of the drums and screams brought the album's narrative an emotionally devastating conclusion. The production of Blurryface wasn't just about creating individual songs, it was about constructing an immersive soundscape that reflected the duality of the character Blurryface. Every track contributed to the album's overarching narrative, with the production choices reinforcing its themes of conflict, self-doubt, and resilience. Many tracks featured contrasting elements: soft, introspective verses paired with explosive choruses, or warm, organic instruments layered with cold, electronic textures. This duality mirrored the tension between Tyler's authentic self and the insecurities embodied in Blurryface. The album's producers were afraid to experiment with dynamic shifts, creating the moments of tension and release that mirrored the emotional roller coaster of its narratives. These shifts kept listeners engaged, drawing them deeper into the album's world. By blending the elements of hip-hop, reggae, rock, electronic, and even ukulele-driven pop, the production team created a sound that was impossible to categorize. This genre fluidity not only set Blurryface apart, but also reinforced its themes of defying expectations and embracing individuality. The production processes for Blurryface was a masterclass of innovation and collaboration. By working with a diverse team of producers and embracing a wide range of sounds and styles, Tyler and Josh created an album that was both sonically adventurous as it was emotionally resonant. Every production choice served the album's overarching narrative, resulting in a cohesive, immersive listening experience that captured the complexities of Blurryface, the character, and the human experience itself. The visuals of Blurryface were just as integral to its storytelling as the music itself. Tyler and Josh worked closely with their creative team to develop an aesthetic that reflected the album's themes of struggle, resilience, and identity. The black paint that Tyler wore on his neck and hands became a symbol of insecurities that choked him and held him back. This visual representation made Blurryface's presence tangible, allowing fans to see the character's grip on Tyler's identity. The red symbolized the fight to reclaim control and find balance. This color appeared prominently in the album artwork, music videos, and live performances, creating a cohesive visual narrative. The Blurryface album cover featured a grid of abstract circles, each with its own unique texture. These circles represented the complexity of the Blurryface character and the manufactured nature of the album's themes. This attention to detail extended their performances, where the visuals and stage brought them out to life. The duo used lighting, props, and costumes changes to immerse the audiences in the world of Blurryface, turning concerts into theatrical experiment. Blurryface wasn't just an album, it was a deeply personal project that combined music, storytelling, and visuals into one cohesive experience. Tyler and Josh took risks, both creatively and professionally, pushing themselves to explore uncharted territory. Their willingness to be vulnerable and experimental paid off, resulting in an album that resonated deeply with fans and set the stage for their rise to global fame. Ultimately, Blurryface was a testament to the power and authenticity in art. It was raw, relatable, and revolutionary.
Blurryface was released on May 17, 2015. It didn't just land, it erupted, creating a ripple effect that would influence fans, the music industry, and culture as a whole. The album was a groundbreaking blend of artistry and vulnerability, using music, visuals, and storytelling to forge an emotional connection with listeners in a way very few albums in modern history had ever achieved. By debuting at number 1 on Billboard 200 with over 147,000 copies sold in its first week, Blurryface proved that it was not only a bold artistic statement but also a mainstream success. However, its true legacy lies in its emotional resonance and its role as a cultural artifact that captured the generation. It became a touchstone for the growing mental health movement, a rallying cry for authenticity, and a creative masterpiece that expanded the boundaries of what popular music could be. At the heart of Blurryface's profound impact was its ability to articulate the struggles of an entire generation. Millennials and Gen Z were coming of age in a world that felt increasingly uncertain, marked by economic instability, skyrocketing student debt, and the growing prevalence of anxiety and depression. These generations were often criticized as lazy or entitled, but Blurryface flipped the script, offering an empathetic portrayal on the immense pressures that they faced. Stressed Out became a defining anthem of this generational tension. The opening line, "I wish I found some better sounds no one's ever heard. I wish I had a better voice that sang some better words," spoke to the insecurities that often paralyze young adults in navigating increasingly performative world. The song's chorus, "Wish we could turn back time to the good old days," evoked a long childhood innocence and simplicity, resonating deeply with those grappling with the harsh realities of adulthood. The track didn't just reflect generational struggle, but it also challenged societal expectations. Lines like, "Out of student loans and treehouse homes, we all would take the latter," directly confronted the pressures to prioritize financial success over an emotional well-being. This message, delivered through catchy hooks and playful yet poignant visuals, was not only relatable, but revolutionary. The song's massive success elevated it into cultural ubiquity. The music video, featuring Tyler and Josh in their childhood homes and riding tricycles or in their neighborhood, blended nostalgia with surrealism. The juxtaposition of playful imagery and serious themes created an emotional dissonance that made the video unforgettable. With over 2 billion views on YouTube as of current, it became more than just a music video. It became a shared cultural experience symbolizing the collective struggles of a generation. While Blurryface had chart-topping hits, it also offered listeners an unfiltered look into Tyler Joseph's psyche, making vulnerability a centerpiece of its emotional impact. In a music industry often dominated with bravado and superficiality, Tyler's openness about his insecurities and struggles with mental health felt revolutionary. For many fans, Blurryface was more than just music, it was a lifeline. The album's candid exploration of mental health created a space where listeners felt seen and understood. In a world where conversations about anxiety, depression, and insecurity were still stigmatized, Blurryface gave these struggles a voice and made them a focal point of pop culture. This wasn't just music to enjoy, it was music that helped people heal. One of the boldest aspects of Blurryface was its refusal to conform to the traditional rules of the music industry. Even as it climbed to the top of the charts, 21 Pilot's blend of genres, alt-rock, hip-hop, reggae, electronic, and even ukulele-driven pop, was unlike anything else in the mainstream. What set Blurryface apart from other albums of its time was its immersed narrative. Blurryface, the character, wasn't just a metaphor, he was a fully realized persona, representing Tyler's insecurities and internal struggles. The concept gave the album a sense of cohesion that was rare in contemporary music. The black paint that Tyler wore on his hands and neck during live performance symbolized the Blurryface's grip on his identity, a visual metaphor that resonated powerfully with fans. This wasn't just a theatrical gimmick, it was a way of externalizing the invisible battles that so many listeners faced in their own lives. The album cover, featuring a grid textured with circles, further reinforced the idea that identity is complex and multifaceted, with each circle representing a different aspect of the human experience. The immersive nature of Blurryface extended to its music videos, which combined surreal imagery with emotional storytelling. The video for Ride It depicted Tyler and Josh navigating a dreamlike jungle, symbolizing the journey of self-discovery and the struggle to find one's path. Fans dissected these visuals with favor, creating theories and interpretations that deepened their connection to the album. The Skeleton Clique, 21 Pilots' devoted fanbase, transformed Blurryface from an album to a cultural movement. The red, black, and white aesthetic became visual language that united fans across the globe. Concerts were filled with fans wearing red armbands, painting their hands black, and creating elaborate costumes inspired by the album's themes. Fans didn't just consume Blurryface, they engaged with it on a deeply personal level. They wrote essays analyzing the lyrics, created artwork inspired by its visuals, and shared their own stories of how the album helped them through difficult times. The clip became a safe haven for individuals who felt misunderstood or alone, fostering a sense of community and belonging. For millions, Blurryface wasn't just an album, it was a lifeline. Its exploration of mental health, identity, and societal pressures resonated with people from all walks of life, providing comfort and validation. The album reminded listeners that it was okay to struggle, that they weren't alone in their battles, and there was strength in vulnerability. Blurryface wasn't just music, it was a movement, mirror reflecting the hopes and fears of a generation. It broke barriers, changed norms and organizations, and left an incredible mark on music and culture. Its impact will continue to be felt for years to come, not only as a defining moment for 21 Pilots, but as a testament to their power of music and connection to heal, hope, and inspire.
Before the release of Blurryface, 21 Pilots had been admired for their unique blend of genres, their emotionally resonant lyrics, and their tight-knit, loyal fan base. They were beloved in the underground and alternative circles, but had yet to break into the mainstream spotlight. While their earlier albums, like Self-Titled and Vessel, were met with acclaim, the band still operated outside the dominant pop culture sphere. Blurryface, however, would change that trajectory, transforming them into an indie underdog to global superstars. What made Blurryface's rise so remarkable wasn't just the mainstream recognition that it brought, though that was significant, but how the album managed to bridge the gap between indie authenticity and commercial success. This was a rare feat in an era where many artists felt pressured to sacrifice creative integrity in order to succeed in the commercial world. Tyler and Josh, however, proved that it was possible to retain their originality and raw honesty while achieving massive worldwide popularity. The Blurryface singles, particularly Stressed Out and Ride, were the catalysts that launched 21 Pilots into global recognition. The success of Stressed Out was nothing short of meteoric. The song captured an essence with an entire generation's struggles, speaking directly to millennials and Gen Z with its honest, relatable exploration of childhood nostalgia and the overwhelming pressure of adulthood. What made Stressed Out stand out was its ability to blend seemingly disparate genres into cohesive sound. The track seamlessly combined alternative rock instrumentation with hip-hop inspired rhythms and pop melodies. This genre fusion made it accessible to a wide audience, from rock enthusiasts to hip-hop fans, giving the song an undeniable cross-genre appeal. The introductory beat of Stressed Out was a bouncy, killer sync rhythm, immediately hooked listeners. The spoken word verses and anthemic chorus bridged the gap between rap and pop punk, creating a sound that felt fresh, bold, and genre-defying. The lyrical relatability with the lyrics was on anxiety and disillusionment of adult life, exemplified in lines like "Wake up, you need to make money." The music video, which depicted Tyler and Josh performing in a childish environment while dressed up as adults, enlightened the song's commentary on the pressures of growing up. The song reached number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 and went viral across multiple platforms, cementing its place as a cultural phenomenon. It became the anthem for anyone feeling the weight of modern life, and its success across radio stations, streaming platforms, and music charts reflected its broad appeal. In fact, Stressed Out marked the moment when 21 Pilots would enter the mainstream consciousness, where pop culture began to take note of the band's unique sound and unique voice. If Stressed Out spoke to the anxiety of adulthood, then Riot offered a reflective respite, showcasing the versatility of Blurryface. The song brought a reggae-inspired groove paired with Tyler's reflective lyrics, creating a contrast to the intense vulnerability of its predecessor. The reggae influences in Ride offered a warmer, laid-back atmosphere. The upbeat tempo and mellow guitar riffs created a sense of freedom, a mood of riding through life, while Tyler's existential musings about life, time, and decision-making gave the song a depth beyond its sunny exterior. The track's infectious chorus, "I just want to stay in the sun where I know it's hard to hide sometimes," was a breath of fresh air compared to the introspective way to Stressed Out, showing the band's ability to pivot between moods and musical styles. The melodic hooks of Tyler's smooth vocal delivery combined with intricate percussion and bass lines, making Ride an anthem for those seeking both personal reflection and collective joy. Ride peaked at number 5 on the Billboard Hot 100, demonstrating the band's broad appeal and its success as a follow-up single.
It also cemented Blurryface's presence on mainstream charts and became one of the most popular songs in their catalog, widely appreciated for both its catchy melody and deeper introspective meaning. As Blurryface took over the charts, 21 Pilots transformed their live performances into spectacles that completely complemented the album's themes. The band's live shows, already known for their energy and creativity, were taken to another level during the emotional roadshow tour. What made 21 Pilots' live performances so unique was their ability to turn the stage into an arena for emotional and visual storytelling. The duo, Tyler and Josh, relied on their creativity, interaction with the crowd, and DIY stage design to create unforgettable experiences regardless of the size of the venue. The stage setups were not just a backdrop for the performance, they were extensions of the album's narrative. Fans saw giant neon lights, props, and projections that brought the album's visuals to life. Tyler's black neck and hand paint, which represented Blurryface, were mirrored in their performances, making the audience feel as though they were experiencing the journey of Blurryface alongside the band. One of the most iconic moments during live shows came when Tyler climbed the stage rigging during Car Radio, a performance that was filled with raw emotion. As Tyler screamed the cathartic lyrics of the song, climbing higher and higher into the rigging, the intensity of the performance created a physical embodiment of the emotional peaks of the song. Fans, immersed in the experience, felt as though they were sharing a collective catharsis with the band. Josh's drumming style became an integral part of the live experience. In many performances, his drums were placed on a platform held above by the crowd, adding an element of unpredictability and intensity. His movement around the stage created a dynamic interplay between the band and the audience, blurring the line between performer and fan, and amplifying the connection between the two. Their concerts became communal experiences, a space where the music allowed fans to release pent-up emotion, bond over shared struggles, and experience a sense of belonging. An interaction between Tyler and Josh and the audience wasn't just a show, it was a collective ritual, a celebration of both personal vulnerability and collective strength. As their popularity skyrocketed, 21 Pilots became a staple at major music festivals, from Lollapalooza to Reading in Leeds. Their festival sets became legendary, further cementing their reputation as one of the most exciting live acts of their generation. Their performances at festivals were a microcosm of their success, dynamic and diverse, and emotionally charged. Each show served as a statement that a mainstream popularity didn't have to come at the cost of authenticity. Critics and audiences were alike praised their ability to bridge generational divides, creating spaces where fans of all ages and backgrounds could come together through their music. Their live sets became cultural milestones, offering both a celebration and a reckoning with modern youth culture. The commercial success of Blurryface is undeniable, but perhaps more important was his ability to redefine what mainstream success could look like. By the time Blurryface had run its course, it made history as the first album to ever have every single track certified gold by the RIAA. This feat was a testament to the album's widespread appeal across demographics. What made this success even more significant is that it didn't come at the expense of the band's artistic integrity. Blurryface wasn't just an album, it was a cultural moment that embodied both vulnerability and authenticity, something that often gets lost in the pursuit of commercial success. Tyler and Josh demonstrated that artists don't have to sell out to achieve mainstream recognition. The blend of raw emotion, creative innovation, and musical experimentation led to a success story that was both unprecedented and inspirational. In an industry driven by trends and formulas, Blurryface was a direct challenge to the notion that artists had to choose between maintaining their authenticity and achieving widespread popularity. Tyler and Josh proved that being vulnerable and honest could resonate on a massive scale, encouraging other artists to follow suit and embrace their true selves. By the time our emotional roadshow tour had concluded, 21 Pilots had gone from the underground favorites to global superstars. They weren't just musicians anymore, they had become symbols of resilience, creativity, and authenticity in an increasingly commercialized and formulaic music industry. Blurryface had allowed them to break through, but it also solidified their place as icons for the millennial and Gen Z generations whose struggles identify with mental health and societal pressure were reflected in the music. Tyler and Josh weren't just sharing their journey, they were giving a voice to journeys of millions of fans around the world. Their success wasn't just earned, it was an authentic reflection of the power of vulnerability and creative expression.
A decade after its release, Blurryface stands as not only a defining moment for 21 Pilots, but as a pivotal movement in the evolution of popular music. The album's influence rippled across genres and cultures, redefining what it meant to be a mainstream artist while remaining authentically vulnerable. It broke boundaries in terms of subject matter, blending genres in ways that it had never attempted before, and ultimately creating a lasting blueprint for future artists. Blurryface wasn't just an album, it was a movement that reshaped how music, particularly within the alternative and indie spheres, interacts with its society's most pressing emotional struggles. Its most profound legacy is the normalization of mental health discussions in mainstream music, as well as the impact that it had on both fans and artists alike. The album's ability to touch on raw, deeply personal themes like anxiety, self-doubt, and insecurity set a new precedent for vulnerability in music. One of the significant legacies of Blurryface is how it redefined the conversation around mental health in the music industry. Prior to this album's release, discussions of mental health were often pushed to the margins of mainstream music or dismissed altogether. The topics of anxiety, depression, and self-doubt were rarely addressed directly in a way that it felt real or accessible to a wide audience. They were typically relegated to darker or more obscure genres like indie or alternative rock, often expressed in a vague, metaphorical terms. Tyler Joseph's candid approach to songwriting, on the other hand, created a new level of emotional transparency in music. He did not romanticize or trivialize the struggles associated with mental health. Instead, he faced them head-on, offering a raw, unflinching lyrics about how self-doubt, existential anxiety, and the constant battle against one's inner demons in songs like Doubt, Stressed Out, and Goner. Tyler captured the very essence of modern mental health struggles in a way that made listeners feel seen and heard. By giving these struggles a voice, he made it possible for millions of people to feel less isolated in their experiences. By presenting vulnerability as something normal, valid, and even empowering, Tyler Joseph helped reduce the stigma around mental health. For fans who were experiencing their own mental health battles, Blurryface became a lifeline, showing them that they weren't alone. Tyler's openness still allowed them to feel like their struggles were being reflected back at them in a way that was both comforting and empowering. This accessibility to the struggles of mental health, wrapped in the power of music, was monumental in making the conversations about it more mainstream. The release of Blurryface, along with a broader societal conversation about mental health awareness, a movement that had gained immense momentum over the past decade. The album played a key role in shifting the focus of glorification of hardship to a conversation about healing, resilience, and emotional growth. The Skeleton Clique, 21 Pilot's dedicated fan base, was already passionate, tight-knit community before Blurryface, but the album turned this community into a global phenomenon. Fans didn't just listen to the album, they embraced it as their own, incorporating its themes into their daily lives and relationships. Fans took the concept of Blurryface beyond the music, embodying its themes in their own identity. They wore colors of the album, red, black, and white, painted their necks to symbolize the Blurryface character, and often shared their own stories of how the music had helped them through difficult times. The visuals and aesthetic choices the music from the album, such as the black paint Tyler wore during the live shows, became iconic symbols of identity and resilience. These visuals representations of the album's themes served as a bonding tool for fans, creating a shared language within the community. The Skeleton Clique didn't just interpret Blurryface as an album, they lived it. It wasn't just a soundtrack, it was a catharsis, support, and tool for self-reflection. The fan-created artwork, written essays, and fan theories about the album's deeper meanings were integral to expansion of its cultural impact. Fans collectively dissected the album's messages, unpacked its meaning, and created spaces where those who were struggling could come together and feel understood. The global aspect of the Skeleton Clique's fandom also helped elevate Blurryface's legacy. Fans from all over the world connected through their shared experience with the album, creating a global support network that transcended geographic and cultural boundaries. Blurryface became not only a soundtrack for individuals' healing, but also a global rallying cry for the voices and misunderstood. While Blurryface was a massive and cultural milestone, its influence didn't stop there. The album's success allowed Tyler and Josh to build their newfound platform, allowing them to innovate further and subsequent their work. Albums like Trench and Scaled and Icy pushed the boundaries while maintaining the authenticity and vulnerability that made Blurryface so powerful. This evolution proved that authenticity wasn't just a one-off achievement, but a lasting principle that could continue to resonate with listeners as the band grew. On a broader scale, Blurryface's success had a ripple effect through the music industry, influencing countless other artists to embrace vulnerability, genre blending, and raw honesty in their work. It proved that music doesn't have to be formulaic or follow industry trends to achieve commercial success. It could be innovative and still have the mainstream appeal. Blurryface became a model for other artists who wanted to take risks in their songwriting and create something real that would resonate with fans on a personal level. The album showed that artists could use their music to address societal issues, mental health, and personal struggles while still being commercially successful. The album's genre-defying nature, combining with elements of rock, pop, reggae, rap, and electronic music, paved the way for a new era of fluidity. Artists like Billie Eilish, Lorde, and Halsey followed in their footsteps, creating music that rejected the constraints of the genre in favor of something experimental and boundary-pushing. Perhaps the most remarkable aspect of Blurryface's legacy is its timelessness. Even years after its release, songs like Stressed Out, Ride, Goner, continued to resonate with new listeners, proving the universal appeal of its themes. The album's ability to transcend generational divides and stay relevant across time and culture speaks to its enduring power. The themes of Blurryface, anxiety, self-doubt, resilience, and the search for identity are timeless. The pressures faced by Tyler on the album are universal, affecting people of all ages and backgrounds. In a world that is constantly changing, these struggles remain constant, making the album a lasting source of connection and healing. For longtime fans, Blurryface is a cherished part of their personal journey, a reminder how music can change lives and offer solidarity in times of struggle. For new listeners, the album invites an invitation to the Skeleton Clique's world where they can find understanding, community, and a sense of hope. Blurryface didn't just mark a milestone for 21 Pilots, it sparked a cultural shift in how we approach mental health, vulnerability, and music. The album gave a voice to millions, showed the music industry that authenticity and innovation could thrive commercially, and created a global community built on shared struggles and collective strength. Tyler and Josh became more than just musicians. They became cultural icons for an entire generation, embodying the ideas of resilience, creativity, and authenticity. Blurryface was more than just an album. It was a movement that changed the way music speaks to the soul. Thank you all so much for watching this video. The writing for this one took me quite a while. The research was actually really hard during this script. If you have any thoughts or opinions you'd like to share, feel free to leave a comment below. Also, I just wanted to add this in. This is me editing the video, that I'm so sorry this video took forever to make. Between sickness and burnout, file deletion, and a bunch of other issues that I won't get into, the video is finally finished and ready to be released. I have plans for other videos in the future, and hopefully those come to fruition a lot sooner than this one did. Alright, well, you guys know the drill. I will see you all in the next video.